Okay, so we're going to proceed with our inequalities, but today we're basics graphs on how you can represent these inequalities on a graph. Number line in the previous video, I show how you can show these inequalities on a number line. This time it's a graph which is x-axis and y-axis. Saka angori tuma number line are crosser are meter at the origin there as 0. Okay, so this is where my number line edumaviri are meet. So let's imagine how you would represent those on a number line. So if you had a y is greater than -4, I can draw a line crossing the y-axis here. Y is greater than I first have to imagine a line crossing the y-axis at -4, and then I have to imagine the region of numbers that are being shown by this inequality, saying greater than -4. So I'm looking at these numbers. These should be the possible values of y, because my inequality sign is saying y should be greater than -4. So I have to imagine a line here. I also have to imagine a line crossing the x-axis at 2, and I have to imagine what it means to then say x is greater than or equal to 2. I should be looking at this region, and then I can imagine also what it means to say y is less than 2x plus 1. So this would be the line 2x plus 1. So if I say y is less than 2x plus 1, I must be looking at these numbers below this line. So let's look at the proper way of really showing this and doing it. So if you have the inequality signs greater than or less than, you have to show by a dotted line. When you are showing the inequality on a graph, you have to use a dotted line, not solid lines as I'm showing there. But if you have the signs greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, you now have to use a solid line. So let's redo this properly. So for the first one, y is greater than -4. I have to put a dotted line. Remember what we said here? So that's a dotted line. And I have to imagine the region of numbers as we did before. When we say y is greater than -4, we are looking at, so this is the greater than. You still remember your number line. If I tilted this axis, I would be moving to my right to positive numbers. So that's greater than. So the numbers that are being represented by this inequality, or the possible values of y, are in this region. So I can show that I can just imagine this is what the inequality is telling me, right? So we want to answer this question here that says, on the graph, shade the region that satisfies all the three inequalities. So we want to shade an area of possible values that are going to satisfy all the three inequalities. Okay, so let's imagine this second one here. So that would be your x is less than or equal to 2. Remember we said you use a solid line when you have less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. So that's the line. And now I have to imagine the region. So we are saying x is less than. So this would be the less than region, less than or equal to 2. And remember when we say equal to, we are saying that 2 itself is also an included value. Okay, let's proceed to imagine the last inequality as we did before. So this time we use a dotted line. We use a dotted line because we have a less than or greater than. So this one is saying y is less than 2x plus 1. So this is my line, y is equal to 2x plus 1. So if I imagine the region of numbers for y that are less than 2x plus 1, then this would be the region here. This would be the region that's below that line, going in the less than direction. So now that you have the regions in your mind, what you have to do is to now shade the region. So that means this middle part here is the region that contains the values for that are going to be able to satisfy all your three inequalities. So we are saying you have to shade that. So the question is asking us to shade that region. So that would be the region that contains the values that will be able to satisfy all the three inequalities. Okay, so You can also be told to label the region, so you just label it, in this case using the letter R. You can also be asked to mark all the points that satisfy all the three inequalities, so you would use crosses to mark the lines, to mark all the possible values within that region. You can also, you need to remember here that we have this inequality that says x is less than or equal to 2. So remember, 2 is included, so you have to mark on the line x is equal to 2, because those values are also included in this inequality. So you have to remember these examples. Let's do another one. Plot the inequalities here on the grid to the right and use shading to show the region R. Region R satisfies the inequalities x is greater than or equal to 2, y is greater than or equal to 1, x plus y is less than or equal to 6. So let's do this. To begin with, x is greater than or equal to 2, so this would be the line. Remember, we use a solid line there because we have a greater than or equal to, and the region that I'll be looking at is to my right. The second inequality is y is greater than or equal to 1, so I have to put a line on y is equal to 1, and I have to imagine the region above that 1, because the inequality is saying y is greater than or equal to 1. Then I move to this. This would be x plus y is less than 6. X plus y is less than 6. So that's my line there. And I have put a solid line there because I still have less than or equal to. Now to shade the region, so that's the region that represents the values that will satisfy all the three inequalities. All the three inequalities. So you have to shade it. So this is all for this video, and if you don't know how to deal with this, you can look out for my next video where I will show you how you can plot my inequalities. So there's a video coming up, and you might want to tell a friend to come and check this video out. Come to subscribe and like these videos on this channel so that we continue to make more videos. If you need further assistance, then you can always inbox me so that I'll do the coaching with you step by step. So let's meet in another video. Enjoy your studies.